I'm gonna tell a story about something that happened to me 2 years ago, and what I later found out is actually a very common experience for women. Unfortunately, because it's not a good thing. So it's a story about this time that a man, who I didn't know, a random man, tried to expose his penis to me in public. Has this ever happened to anyone here? Wow. Look at how many people. And I didn't mean to make you cheer for that either. You're like, woo! Me! Like, sorry, I didn't mean, but it's really crazy how many women have experienced this. Like, and I didn't know until after it happened to me, and I was telling a friend about it, and she was like, that's never happened to you before? And I was like, no, it's happened to you? She was like, yes, all the time. Constantly. Just always, you know? She's like, the other day I was walking down the street and this guy whipped it out and he was like, chicka-chicka. She was like, he had a sound effect and for everything. It's crazy, right? She's like, and then one time it happened at the mall, then one time at Black Creek Pioneer Village. What? And she was like, that one was weird. I was like, they're all weird. Just because he was wearing a bonnet doesn't make it more weird, you know? They're all very weird across the board. This is not like, and it's really like mind-boggling to me. Like, it's just like because it's so common that we're all like, oh well, you know, obviously it's happened to me. Like, because when it happened to me, I was really shocked, and I was on a subway platform on like a Tuesday at like 1:30, and I was completely alone. And this guy walked up to me, and as soon as I saw him, I was like, uh-oh, you know? Because he just had this look in his eyes, and he had this, like, swagger in his knees, you know? And, like, looking back, he could have just had bad knees. But at the time, I was like, those are the knees of a pervert! For sure! I've read about those knees on the women's internet. And he had this t-shirt on, and it said, yeah, on it. I was like, oh God, the t-shirt is already hitting on me. This is like, oh. And he sat down beside me, and then he immediately started asking me my name. Just wouldn't stop. He was like, what's your name? What's your name? Hey, what's your name? Say your name, say your name. You know, he just wouldn't give up. And eventually, I was like, okay, I'm just going to say my name, so he'll just leave me alone. So I started saying my name is Jess. And then I stopped myself before I finished, because I was like, Jess, don't say your real name, because then he'll be able to find you after. Like, that's what was running through my head. I thought, oh, he'll Google Jess, and then a map will appear with my address on it. Like, I was like, that's going to happen, so change it. So I gave him a fake name. So what I ended up saying was, my name is Justice. Justice. I thought maybe the concept of justice would, like, you know, make him think differently. But instead he was just like, justice is hot. And then the subway train arrived, and we got inside, and it was just the two of us for a while. And he was intoxicated, and he kept, like, falling asleep, like, in a couple chairs away from me, and then, like, waking up, and then, like, you know, remembering that I was there, and then, like, winking, and, like, licking his lips, and then, like, falling asleep again, and then waking up, and then remembering and be like, oh yeah, justice. And this went on for a while. Sleep, awake, sleep, awake. And then this large group of old Italian ladies came into the train, and I became friends with them very quickly. So I sat with them, and I tried to engage in conversation. I was like, yes, Angelo is stupid, you know? And eventually, they all got up and left simultaneously. And the doors closed, and it was just, the sound just like echoed. It sounded like a dungeon closing, you know, it was just like, poof. And then he awoke from his slumber once more and like started walking towards me like a zombie that had just like come back to life. And I was standing there watching him, and I was like, oh, holy shit, like, this is it. I'm done. He's gonna kill me. There's no one here. You know, I'm gonna die at Dufferin Station. I was at, like, just left Dufferin Station. I was like, no, oh God, what do I do? Where do I go? And then we arrived at Ossington. The doors opened. He turned, stepped out, and disappeared. Like, into the station, into the walls, I think. And I was like, well, oh God, well that was easy, you know, holy cow. You know, and Ossington was my stop as well. So I was like, perfect, great, gonna get out, here we go. So I got out, and I got on the escalator, and I started heading up the escalator. And then at the top of the escalator, his body began to appear because he was waiting for me. It was kind of like that scene, like, in Cruel Intentions, you know? Where, like, Ryan Phillippe is at the top, and he's there. But, like, this guy was, like, not Ryan Phillippe at all. And I'm standing there, you know, going up the escalator, watching this unfold, and I thought, oh, I have two options. I can either keep going, or I can run back down. And then, I don't know why, but I decided to keep going. I was like, I'll fight this head on, stand up to this man, and then I said to myself, justice never waits. And so I kept going up the escalator, and then he started to slowly unzip his pants. And then I hit the top, and I like took a step, and he took a zip, and I took a step, and he took a zip, and then he like reached in and went to pull it out. And I was watching this just like happen in front of me, unfold like in slow motion. And I don't know what came over me in that moment, but I became justice. Because I looked at him dead in the eyes, and I screamed out, "Not today, motherfucker!" Yeah. And let me tell you, that penis retracted really quickly. It was very scared. And he zipped up, and he was like, "Oh, you're crazy." And like, you know, ran from me, and I ran from him. And I never heard from him again. But I really, really hope that night he went home and he did Google my name. I really hope he went home and Googled justice and like found the Wikipedia page for it and read it. And then was like, oh, holy crap, this changes everything. What have I been doing with my life up until now? That's the story, everybody. Thank you. Good night.